Yeah. What did we learn in our previous session? We learned about abstraction, right? Have you gone through the links which I shared to you? Hello. We learned
We are
about
listening.
abstraction. Yeah, we learned about abstraction yesterday, right? So I shared you two links. One is this, the official documentation of abstraction, which is from Oracle itself, and the other one is from tutorials. Is it from tutorials point? Not from tutorials point. I shared some other link yesterday, which has all the. I mean, after the session, I went through that, and I also saw what is the differences between. I mean, for you, for your reference, I went through these documents and saw which one is best and shared two of the links. Uh, One is this, and the other one I don't remember. The other one is from software testing time. Did you get a chance to go through them? No? Get a chance to look into it. Here we have again the same, whatever we discussed in our previous session, the same explanation is present over here. So you can see it, what why is abstraction done. But a little more explanation will be there. Okay. See what is abstraction. So what how can we do? Here again they are using vehicle and car conflict class. Java abstraction. What classes can be abstract? What classes can be called as abstract classes? And then what are abstract methods in Java? And what are the specifiers you can use for abstract keywords? And some small, like we used the shape example, and what was the other one which we used? Shape is one, and there was another one that we used. E-commerce site. Yeah, we used e-commerce site as example. But here they used as a bank as example. For bank, they are using interest rate. This is a class where the interest rate will be designed, and then they have different banks: Citibank, HSBC Bank. Okay, so like this, we have different examples here. And then what is the use of abstraction in Java? So which purpose? Like we have vehicle, car, bike, and scooter. This is another example showing the same abstraction concept. Okay. And here are the differences between abstract class and interface. Whatever we discussed, those points are here. Then when to use abstract class and when to use interface in Java. So like this, you have complete information along with FAQs, which might be helpful for your interviews. Okay. So that is why I shared this link as well as the official documentation link, which is showing the example of graphical object. That is again the square, circle, shapes. Okay, these two are the things that I shared for you. And yesterday also we discussed the same about abstraction, that if we want to hide implementation, here we are not having any implementation. We are having it in our child classes. And user cannot create objects for abstract classes. But user will be able to create object for child class and access all the methods, or we can show that user that these are all the methods that you can use by converting that small child class object into parent class object. This is what we have seen in our previous session. Okay, and then full abstraction, partial abstraction, differences between interface and abstract classes. So those were the things that we learned in object-oriented programming. Now we are left with only one topic, that is called as encapsulation in object-oriented programming. Okay, let us go into that. before going to encapsulation? Any questions in abstraction or any other previous topics that you want to discuss? Okay, I'll take it as it. Right. So let us go into encapsulation. Encapsulation is very small topic. Okay. What does this encapsulation do? Encapsulate means hide something. You have data, but you hide it. You don't give it to the others that you have something. You don't tell them that you have it. Okay. If you want to hide something from others, what we'll do? In Java, what is the keyword that we have to use? Come on. If you want to hide something from others, which keyword we should use? We already learned this. Forgot? Or you don't know?
What is question again?
If you want to hide your data or if you don't want to share your information with others, which keyword should we use? Okay, what is this? What is this word which I highlighted?
Public.
Okay, now think about it. I gave you a hint.
Private.
Exactly. So public will make your data, whatever is present inside this class is public. That means anybody can use it. But if you don't want to make any item inside this class as public, if you want to keep it to yourself, if you want to hide that the presence of those things to the others, then you are using private, right? I mean, private means its scope is only until this class. But what does that mean? I mean, in other way, how can we say it? We are not sharing it with anyone else outside this class. It means we are hiding it from the others. That's all. That is hiding of data or hiding of implementation, and we give the information to the others that we just have this method, and they will not never know what is the implementation that we are having inside it, but they will just know the they will just get the values. That's all. Okay. So let me create a sample class here. Encapsulated data. Okay, there is a class encapsulated data where I'm creating some private variables. Private uh, private string. Okay, I created some variable private string SSN ID. Private string complete. Private string passport ID. Anything private string contact number. This is not string. This is int. Okay. Private string relationship status. Whatever private string income value, something, some things, some variables or some values that we have. This person knows all this. Okay, I'll make this as person instead of encapsulation data. I'll make it as this person has this information. He has a number plate for his car. He has an SSN ID. He has pass. Uh, He has passport ID, he has contact number, he has relationship status, he has income value, and he knows this information. This person knows. You don't want to share these things with anyone. So if this should not be shared with anyone, then we are making it as private. Till here, you know, right? We already learned about this public and private, all those things. So when it is private, any other class cannot access these variables even if they create object. Let me show you. I'm just taking a rewind or just taking a little back. Object is equals to new person. If I type obj dot, you won't see any methods. You see all the methods coming are from object parent class, but nothing from the person class because everything is private. You see? Okay. Now let me add some public one or default one. Anything is fine. String name. Okay. Now you see here object dot name. You will see. So my name can be known to anyone. It's okay. It's not an issue. So I am making it as default. Anybody can access this, or I can make it public. Anybody can know my name from anywhere. So it's fine. But I don't want to share this information with anyone. That is why I'm making it private. But if it is only restricted to me, if you don't want to share it with anyone, suppose there is some activity going on, or in India we'll say that population count or something, some activities going on. Okay, population census, they'll say, right? So if we think that census, or there is some verification happening all over US, that they are checking whether you are what do we say, appropriate immigrant, or have you entered illegally. So they will need some information, right, of yours, just to cross check the systems, at least passport ID. Then if you say that no, it's passport ID is my private information, I won't share it with you, will they agree? You have to share it with some people, but this is private information to this person. So how are we going to share this? So we are going to make this very safe. I mean, let us assume that this is SSN card, this is your car number plate or passport and everything. These are all logged in your safe. But whenever somebody asks you, you are not going to give a copy of this. You are just going to give a numbers of them, right? So in that case, what we are going to do? So if this is private, but I still want to share this passport ID or SSN ID based on need. Okay. So there, what we are going to do is, let me show you. We have some concept called as getters and setters. Okay. Right click. Generate getters and setters. These generate getters and setters will generate us some methods, getter methods and setter methods. Those methods will be for each variable that is private. Okay. Now if I click it, it will show you. You see for what variables you want these getters and setters. You can see here, since this is already public, it is showing in green. Since these are all private, they are showing in red color boxes. Okay. Now, if you open this, what is it saying? Contact number is private, but if when you create getters and setters, it will create like this: get contact number, set contact number. Okay. Getters and setters are there, and those will be public. You see. So let me select these all. I don't want name because name is already public. Okay. Now I click on generate. Now you see these methods will be generated. So what are we doing here? We are making this data as private. That means we are making this data safe with us. But if whenever needed, if somebody wants to get to know our SSN ID, they won't get to know all the details of the SSN. We'll just give the SSN ID. So for that reason, I'm creating a public method so that anybody can request me for the SSN ID. Okay. So when anybody calls this get SSN ID, okay, when anybody calls this get SSN ID method, I'll do some checks whether he's authorized. Here we are directly returning. I mean, this is a default method that was created from get SSN setters, so we are seeing this. I'll verify whether this is appropriate person or authorized person, or can I share this information to this person. And if everything is okay, then we'll share this information. Understood? That person, whoever is requesting this, will never know what is the values for this. For example, something like this. AOP. Passport ID. AN. Something. Contact number. This is it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. And then relationship status is again string. I'll say in relation. Okay. Income value. And back. So these are the information which I have, but I'm not going to share it with anyone because this is. But if somebody from authorized sources or some people whom I want to share this with, I can share with them. How do I share? But since I made these variables as private, I'll create some public methods which will get these values. So I created a public method. I mean, I used the Eclipse feature. Okay, let me remove this. Okay. So if I want to share this, I will create a public method. Okay, public, and I will make it as void. Get SSN ID. So I'm showing you example for SSN ID. So I want to get this SSN ID. So what am I doing? I am exposing a method which can be accessed by outsiders. SSN ID. This is my method I am creating. Okay, here what am I returning? I am returning the SSN ID, but SSN ID is of type string. So this will become string. Okay, and then here I'll perform some checks. Perform operations, checks, and then return data. So what are we returning here? Return SSN ID. So nobody knows what value or from where we are passing this SSN ID, but they'll just get the SSN ID. Simple or perfect example. All right. So, you know, have you used the Google Drive anytime? You can share it with respective people only, right? Or even in your ETL, can you do operations, or can you update or write create a table on a database when you have only read-only permissions?
No.
Oh, okay. When you have only write-only permissions, can you see whatever the data present inside a database? Might be tables, columns, or anything. No, right? You will just be able to write, but you won't be able to read whether it is present or not. Agree? Have you faced any such situations?
Yes.
So to create such kind of things, have read-only permissions or write-only permissions, we use this encapsulation. We hide everything. Based on the need, we give read-only permission or write-only permissions. If we use all the get methods, then that will become read-only. If we use all the set methods, then it will become write-only. If we have both, then it will become read-write permission. Okay. So this is get SSN ID. That means we are allowing the others to get this SSN ID from this class. So that means they will be able to read it. The value which is already present, that can be read by the other people, but not directly with the variable. We have created some read-only method. Okay, and this is getter. This is nothing but getter. We call this as getter method for SSN. Okay. Now let me write setter method for SSN ID. SSN ID. So setter. If I want to give write permissions also, then I am giving this. I don't return anything. I'm just taking the value from user and then I'm updating it to the SSN ID. Okay. So public void set SSN ID. Okay. So for this I have to take input. If I want to set a value to SSN, then I have to take the value of SSN, right? So I'll take some string SSN input. Okay. Now, what I have to do? I already have a variable called SSN ID here. SSN ID is equals to, I have to assign this. That's all. So now what will happen? When I call get SSN ID, I will get the value from what is already present. If I use this set SSN ID, then whatever the value that I am passing, that will be assigned to this SSN ID. Understood? Now let's see that. Obj dot get SSN ID. We are having it. Okay. Let's see what is it giving to us. Oh, sorry, I did not use a CISO statement. Okay. Obj dot get SSN ID. Did we get the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Though it is private variable, we are able to get that value. How? With the help of this getter method. Now let us set the value to it. Dot set SSN ID. I want to set a value. What is the value? 987654. Okay. And then again, I want to get the value. Okay. Now let's see. What is the value now? 987654. That means what is happening? Are we able to update the value update the value of it? Are we able to set a new value to this object or variable? We are able to. That's all. So with the help of this getters, we are able to retrieve the private data of a person. With the help of these setters, we are able to update the private data of this person, I mean of this class. Okay. So what is the advantage of doing this? If I don't want anybody to update my values, I will not provide these methods. I will not provide these methods so that nobody can update the value of SSN ID. Now, is there any possibility to change the value of SSN ID? We won't be able to access it via object because this is private. There is only one method called get SSN ID which helps us to see the data, but it will never help us to update the data or set new value to that variable. So that means what are we doing? We are making it read only. Now I don't want to make anyone know the value of SSN ID, but I just want their SSN IDs to store. So I can remove this getter and I'll give only setter permissions, or I will mention only setters inside this class. So what happens? Nobody can read the SSN ID, but if they want, they can share their SSN ID. Understood? Is that clear about encapsulation? We are hiding the data. We are hiding the basic code. But if you want to make them readable or writable, we are using these getters and setters. That is all about encapsulation. And if you don't want to write these getters and setters on your own manually, then we have a provision provided by Eclipse. That is, right click in the class, go to source, and inside source, you see generate getters and setters. Just click on it. Now it will show all the private variables you have, or all the variables inside that particular class for which you can create getters and setters. So since this is public, we don't need to give this get name or set name variables or methods. Whatever is private, we'll do it. Because for public, anyway, this can be updated or this can be read. I will also show you that public one if you want. Okay. This is there. Click on generate. That's all. All the things are generated. You see, get SSN ID, set SSN ID. But here we are also using the same variable called SSN ID. In order to avoid confusion, what is he doing? We are using the keyword called this. This means this particular class. You know already this and super keywords we have learned. When you have get SSN. That's okay, no problem. That this happens based on the variable name. Right. So you understood this? Getters and setters. Any questions? So you see, this is encapsulation. Hiding the data in a class from other classes. Hence, it is also known as data hiding. Encapsulation is also known as data hiding. Process of binding data and code in a single unit. So what are we doing here? We are binding the data. So we are not giving the users variables separately and the methods separately. We are binding these variables with these methods. If anybody wants to access this data, they have to use these methods. They cannot access directly the variables. So we are binding this data with this methods. Okay. And then, or process of hiding implementation details to users. So here we are directly, simply we are just returning this as an ID. But if you want to apply some code here, like verify whether he is from authorized sources, whether he can get such information or not. If yes, then you can pass this. Otherwise, no. Okay. All right. And then encapsulation can be achieved by, so how can we achieve it? By declaring all the variables in the class as private and writing public methods in the class to set and get the values of that variables. That's what we did. Okay. Then we implement encapsulation using setters and getters so that we can set the data and get the data from other classes. We have seen that example. Okay. And then setters and getters are default methods, and these methods are declared as public. Always we declare these setters and getters as public. It is not mandatory to be a public, but if you make it protected, so then you know that what happens when you have a protected method. This will be accessible only within this package, right? Only within this package and in child classes of other package. But still, this will be a hiding from other classes, which are outside the package. If I want to make it public, then I can use public. But by default, we'll use public for, anytime, generally we follow this public getters and setters. But it is not restricted, and it is not, Java doesn't say any or through any error if you give this as private as well. No problem. See, there is no error here. But if you keep the data as private and the method also private, then how the others will get data from this class? That is the reason we don't use these things. We use public mostly. Okay? So that is what I told here. And then why encapsulation? Why should we go for this? We are hiding our data. We are not showing the variable names or any other things to the users. and then making the data read only or write only. I've shown you that if you want it read only, then use only get methods. If you want write only, then use setter methods. If you want to both, then you can have both read get and set methods. Okay, and the other advantage is reusability of this class. Anybody can call this get SSN ID method, so that they'll get the SSN ID from this class. This is encapsulation, and these are the advantages of encapsulation. This is pretty small topic. Is that clear? If you are done with, if you don't have any questions in this encapsulation, then we are done with Java. We are having one topic pending, that is exception handling. But till now, we have seen only one exception, that is array index out of bounds. So in order for you to understand, let us have some more time. Let us see some more exceptions in Selenium, and then we'll see exception handling. What are the things that we can do in exception handling? Okay. So until then, let's keep the topic on hold. Exception handling. Okay. All right. Any questions, Bobby, Sharaf, or Yanji? No.
No, Nikhil, no.
Do you want me to show some other example on encapsulation? Let me show encapsulation in Java. Let me see what this is tutorials point. Let me see if this for weeks is the best place. Then I also want to go to the Oracle documentation. Okay, here we are, and this is encapsulation. See, what is encapsulation? Just in 2 paragraphs. That's all. Polymorphism. We have some explanation and some code, but encapsulation is just in 2 paragraphs. Encapsulation describes the ability of an object, some blah 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 blah. We have get ID for get ID methods, making this as private variables. ID field is private, and then we are using get ID method. Okay. So they gave a very basic example here. Okay. This is classes and instances. What is this class? What is object? So that's what they are discussing about. I was not looking at this documentation. So let's see here. We have sizes. Encapsulation here. You can explore all these things. Fine. I am not able to find encapsulation here. Let me check. Might be there is some problem, or might be they are not allowing us to search the site. That is going back again to this old new site. This is all taking us somewhere else. Let's ignore it. Let us see the other examples from other sites. So you see encapsulation. Variable data is hidden inside this capsule. So that is how they want to represent it. That's all. Combination of data hiding and abstraction. You have a class encapsulate where you have some private variables and you created some public methods which are getting age, getting name, getting roll number, setting age, setting name, setting roll number. That's all. And in other classes, wherever we want, you can set the values and get the values. That's all. Advantages of abstraction. That's all. Nothing else. Then this is another side. Let's see if we have something more. Nothing else. You see, we have private variables and we have public methods get age and set age or set ID. We are calling it. That's all. So this is pretty small topic encapsulation, but it helps. Okay. Right. Fine. So we are done with our Java. I'll stop the recording till here and we'll start a fresh recording. Okay. Hello.